What's going on, everyone? Today we're diving into Halvor Truck Lines to see what they're all about. In this video, we're going to talk to a driver recruiter, take a look at some online reviews, and discuss some recent changes that have gone on in Halvor Truck Lines that may change your opinion of the company. And at the end of the video, I'll answer the question, okay or no way. Would I Trucker 219 go to work for Halvor Truck Lines? And we're getting ready to jump in, but first I'm trying to make a push to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you find my content helpful, hit that subscribe button and we're diving in right now. Let's go. So for this one, I called two driver recruiters, and the first time I presented like a driver who doesn't have a CDL. This resulted in the recruiter not being as forthcoming with some of the information that I was requesting. So I called back again to present like I was somebody who was getting ready to graduate CDL school and was interested in coming to work for them. And being that they recently canceled their CDL training program, I was able to get a little bit more information with that. So we're going to dive into the call that has more information on it. But if you want to hear that first call, I'll leave a link for a different video for that down below.
Thank you for calling Halvor Lines. This is Brittany in recruiting. How may I help you?
Hi, Brittany. I was calling to see what it would be like to come to work for you. I'm fixing to graduate CDL school come this Friday.
All right. So where you are now, we do have flatbed available in that area. Is that something that you would be interested in?
I was actually kind of looking at your dry van. I'm willing to relocate as well.
Gotcha. Okay. I can definitely see what we could do with that. Now, all is going to be 7 to 10 days out with 2 days home. You'd go through 4 weeks of training. That is going to be paid $1,000 a week, and then orientation is in that as well. So I say 5 weeks altogether because you have a week of orientation and then 4 weeks of training. All was just paid $1,000, and then if you went into a flatbed, would be 50 cents. If we were able to do drive-in, that would be 45 cents per mile.
So it's 50 cents for flatbed, and then 45 for
drive-in.
For dry. Okay.
Yep. And then, so you said you'll be graduating next week?
This coming up Friday is when I take my test to get my CDL.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. And then, you're good with being over the road? Because we are over the road. We do run anything east of I-35.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So, and we do offer benefits as well. So that's going to be offered after 60 days, health, dental, and vision. We do offer a 401k after you're with us for 6 months. We do have a passenger program and pet program. We do allow both. And of course, that is once you become a solo driver.
Okay.
The passenger is going to be $20 a month for the insurance. And of course, 10 years of age or older. Pet program, we allow up to 2, and just cat or dog, and then have to be up to date on the rabies vaccination.
Okay. And then as far as the cents per mile, dry van, you said 45 cents per mile. On average, how many miles a week is the dry vans doing?
We average around 2,500 miles a week.
Okay. And then for flatbed, is it the same?
Yep. Flatbed, we average around 2,500 a week as well.
Okay. And then...
Now...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, in all the divisions that we also offer the performance, fuel, and safety bonus as well. So there is a little extra in that.
What does that look like?
So I will get your email and send this information over so you can kind of have it in front of you to look at. But for performance bonus, that's a 4-week payout. Safety bonus is like 2 cents a mile, and the safety bonus is calculated quarterly, paid out annually. And then same with the fuel bonus, that's going to be quarterly payouts. And like if you're compliant with gallons filled, that's like 20 cents. Like I said, it would be a little easier for you to look at, so I'll be glad to send it over.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I will be glad to send all that information over for you to look at. I do like to be very thorough, so I'll have all that information in there. As far as our equipment, we do have Freightliners, Volvos, Kenworths. They're going to be 3 years old or newer. They come with inverters, refrigerators, smart TVs, and then refrigerators. Bunk heaters. Sorry if I repeated that twice. And some have EPUs, but not all of them.
Okay, so you said they're 3 years or newer. They have inverters, refrigerators, and a TV.
And bunk heaters.
Okay. And then what is your guys' tuition reimbursement?
So we reimburse up to $6,500. That does start when you become a solo driver, and that will be like, I believe it's like $59.69 on every paycheck once you become a solo driver.
Okay, and that's a specific fund. That's not coming out of the cents per mile or anything?
No. That will be added on top of that.
Okay, and you said $59.69 a week?
Yes, I know it's, yeah, $59.67, something like that.
Okay, sounds good. And then just a couple more quick questions for you. Do you guys have cameras in your trucks?
We do not have inward-facing cameras, but we do have outward-facing cameras.
Okay. And then what are your guys' trucks governed at?
They are governed at 65, and then all the trucks are going to be automatic.
Okay, sounds good. And you said you guys run east of I-35. Do you guys ever go out west at all?
I don't want to say no, and then you go out west, but we primarily run, east of I-35.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like if you're asking if we go to California or anything like that, no.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. California, Arizona.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Awesome. I appreciate your time so much. Thank you for talking with me. I will be in touch if I decide to go with you guys.
Okay, absolutely. And like I said, I'll get this information sent over. And then if it is something that you want to move further with as well, I will definitely get with our operations too to see if we can do the drive-in. And then we can just go from there.
Oh, let me ask you. I'm sorry. Okay, so if I'm over here and I have to be on flatbed, do you guys pay for tarping?
We do, yes. So actually 75% will actually come pre-tarped. Anytime you have to tarp or anything, that's going to be $30 extra.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. I'll look forward to that email, and I'll get looking over that and get back to you.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to get all this together, send it over, and then I will touch base with you as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so I just got off the phone with the driver recruiters, and they each said a little bit different things, but generally it was the same. In the recruiter phone call, we found out that Halvor Truck Lines does not offer a CDL training program. This means if you're looking to get your CDL, you're going to have to go to a private institution or a CDL school. And once you get your CDL, you'll go to work for Halvor Truck Lines, where you'll receive 5 weeks of additional training. The first week is an orientation, and the remaining 4 weeks is out with a driver trainer, of which you'll be paid out at $1,000 per week. And once you get done with their training program, you'll be a solo driver, and for drive-in you'd be making 45 cents per mile. But with that 45 cents per mile, there's an opportunity for bonuses of up to 28 cents per mile. But that's not paid out on every single check. They do a quarterly, a yearly, and a 6-month period where they'll hand out these each individual bonuses. And these bonuses are based off of 3 things. The first thing being fuel efficiency, second thing is safety, and the third thing is a performance bonus. Now, they did say that on average you'd be making about 2,500 miles a week. Their home time policy is 7 to 10 days out for 2 days home. They do offer a tuition reimbursement of up to $6,500 once you go solo, and that's paid out at $59.69 per week. Now, as far as cameras, they do have outward facing cameras but not inward facing, and their trucks are governed at 65 miles per hour both on the pedal and on cruise control. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the calculator to see where these numbers pan out. All right, so they said on average you'd be at 2,500 miles per week, and multiply that by 45 cents per mile, and you're looking at $1,025 before taxes. Now, if you decide to go with the flatbed division, they said you'd make 50 cents per mile doing that, and pre-tax, that's $1,250. And as it pertains to bonuses, you can't really bank on getting those paid out. The only sure pay that you're going to get is your cents per mile. So when you're looking at a company trying to factor in the bonuses to your pay, it's not a guarantee that you're gonna meet those bonus requirements, and even if you do, you might not be at the company long enough to receive those benefits. For example, the safety bonus with Halvor is paid out annually in the first quarter of the following year, and you must be employed at the company at the time of the payout to receive the payout. And the fuel efficiency bonus is paid out quarterly. However, there's a lot of criteria to be able to make that bonus. That being said, their performance bonuses are paid out every 4 weeks. So we can do a little bit of math to get an idea of how much that would pay out. So they said that they're averaging 2,500 miles a week. So for 4 weeks, that puts you at 10,000 miles for the month. Now this is assuming that you'd still get the 2,500 miles a week even if you take home time. But based off of these numbers, the performance bonus would only be an additional 2 cents to your 45 cents over the course of 4 weeks. So let's just say for the 4 weeks you make 10,000 miles, and we're going to multiply that by 2 cents. So if you get those 10,000 miles in a 4-week period, you would get an additional bonus on your check of $200 a month, or every 4 weeks. And that's because the range to get a 3 cents performance bonus is 10,500 miles for a 4-week period. And if you get less than 9,400 miles in a 4-week period, your performance bonus would only be 1 cent per mile. And the range for that is 9,400 miles for a 4-week period. So let's just say you did 9,300 miles. And then we'll multiply that by 0.01 because it's not quite to that 2 cents range. That means that for 4 weeks, your additional pay is only going to be $93. Now, for more details on how much they pay, the recruiter was kind enough to provide a pay scale sheet. So feel free to take a screenshot of that or pause the video and write down what you need to write down. But just looking at this, there's a couple of big red flags on this. For starters, this fuel efficiency bonus. If you fill compliant gallons of fuel, which I'm not even really sure what compliant means, but you could get an extra 20 cents per gallon's fuel. However, if we look down here, there's a negative 40 cent for non-compliant gallons filled, and an additional $3 per hour for idling, aka wasted fuel. So this means if you're not following the rules, they're going to deduct from your paycheck. And they give a breakdown here of what that looks like. And that's just for pay. What about their training? If you look over here, it says become a trainer and earn an extra 27 cents per dispatched mile. Experienced drivers can apply after 90 days. This means that you could be getting trained by a driver who only has 3 months of experience. Now, it does say that you must meet safety and performance criteria, but regardless, I don't think anybody with less than a year of experience driving a truck should be even thinking about training somebody who has 0 experience driving. 3 months of experience is barely enough to understand what is going on out on the road. Now, what happens if a challenging situation comes up that this driver hasn't faced before? Not only will they be trying to figure out this situation themselves, but they're also going to have to try to teach their trainee how to do it as well. And in my opinion, I don't think this is acceptable at all. This type of training from inexperienced drivers is what breeds accident-prone drivers. Imagine if you were a heart surgeon getting trained by somebody with 3 months of experience. There would be absolute outrage. Now, there's definitely a benefit for peers sharing information that they've learned out on the road. When I started in the trucking industry, there was a handful of people that I started out in school with, I started in my training company with, and as we learned, we shared information with each other to try to help each other grow. But when you're looking for a trainer to show you the ropes, you want somebody that's been out there and been doing it for some time. This way, if you ask your trainer about something that's happened out on the road or could happen out on the road, they will be able to give you information based off of experience and knowledge versus somebody who's never come in contact with that situation before. But even with that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some online reviews to see what other drivers have had to say about working for Halvor Truck Lines. All right, so we're over here on Indeed Reviews, and they have a 3.6 star out of 139 reviews, which to be honest isn't a whole lot of reviews. And as you can tell, they're mostly 5, 4, and 3 stars with a couple of 2s and a little bit more on the 1s. But we got these reviews filtered to new here, and we're going to see what other drivers have had to say. This first one is coming from a truck driver out of Superior, Wisconsin. It's a great company to get your start. The best part of working at the job is good people, plenty of miles, and good trucks. The most stressful part, the company added no stress to the job. This one's a 1 star from September, but this was a CFO, toxic leadership, and a culture of retaliation. This one, 4 star over-the-road truck driver out of Minnesota. A good place to get your CDL. They pay for training with 1 year of service required. Their cents per mile is not competitive with some other companies. They do have a good culture and treat drivers fairly well with a good amount of spiffs for free food at their terminals. Once your 1 year contract is fulfilled, I recommend to chase money elsewhere. Now, this one was back in September. I'm wondering if they had got rid of that CDL training program, because when I talked to the recruiter, they said that they aren't doing that anymore. So that might be a recent shift. Okay, this one's from Anonymous. Great place to drive for. Pay isn't the greatest, but they make up for it with the family style work environment. I would recommend this company to anyone looking to drive truck. This one says good company, newer equipment. Overall good company. They have newer trucks, mostly Volvo and Freightliners. They take excellent care of their equipment. Base pay is lower than average with chance for better from bonuses, and you have to be on point to get those bonuses. Yeah, like I was talking about in the breakdown, to be able to get those bonuses, you really got to perform. Safety is priority. They have a good CDL training program. Push through that year and get that experience at the same time is worth the contract. Okay, so when they were doing the whole CDL training program, this gentleman was saying that it was worth the contract to get that CDL training because it was good training. He said that I average about 25 to 3,200 miles a week, but have little home time. This is by choice to finish my contract faster. Okay, so some of these reviews aren't going to be relevant just because they've done away with that CDL training program. Okay, this one was from back in June of this year. Great starter company, but low pay. If you're getting your foot in the door, this company is great to start with. Great driver support, busy all the time. However, the pay is very low, and a year into the industry with a company, you get a raise, but it's still very low when compared to other companies. Turnover is pretty high for that reason alone. Hopefully they change that at some point, but who knows? It's good to get the experience and move on. Okay, some other ones. 3-star, good starter company, 3-star pay. The company has a huge turnover on driver, could pay them a little bit more so drivers would stay. Equipment is very good and maintenance programs are good. This 4-star review here said, I had the time of my life. Being on the road was an experience I enjoyed. 5-star, nice company. Miles are there. Wonderful company, low pay. Respectful, caring. So overall, there's a lot of positive reviews with highlights about the equipment and the maintenance schedule and just a friendly group of people to work with. And other reviews were saying that they're definitely getting the miles that they advertise. But the reoccurring theme on this one, again, was that the pay was very low. But it seems like they went through a shift recently within this year where they're no longer doing the CDL training program. So this might have come with a little bit more pay as well. So I want to see if I could find out what the pay was like last year. Okay, I found this on their website. Says Halvor Lines announces per mile pay increase for drivers. Starting November 1st, Halvor Lines will pay more per mile to mileage-based drivers at all experience levels. The new pay scale, which applies to loads moved on or after November 1st, allows all drivers to reach the top of Halvor's pay scale faster than before. The per mile pay increases recognizes the important role over-the-road truck drivers play in keeping America running, particular in 2020 as drivers kept goods moving through the COVID-19 pandemic and periods of national civil unrest. The per mile pay increase for over-the-road truck drivers will benefit drivers at all levels of experience, from new CDL graduates looking for training to experienced drivers seeking a new employer. Students enrolled in Halvor's new CDL training program will also be eligible for the higher pay rates. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to find out what the pay was prior, but according to them, 45 cents per mile is an increase from what they were at before. And just based off of the companies that I've done a deep dive on, 45 cents per mile is kind of on the low end of what a new driver would be making. It's definitely not the lowest, but it's definitely not the highest either. Okay, so being that this is a little bit of a smaller company to go to work for, I'm having trouble finding any other driver experiences, so I'm going to rely heavily on the audience on this one. If you've ever gone to work for Halvor Truck Lines, please leave a comment down below and let us know what your experience was like. But based off of the information that I found reviewing this company, it's time for the question, okay or no way, would I, Trucker 219, go to work for Halvor Truck Lines? And the answer to that is no way, and it's not necessarily because of their pay. While their pay is kind of on the lower end, it seems like there's an opportunity to make decent money with the miles. And based off of other information, it seems like it's a good company as far as the culture. The big downside for Halvor for me is number one, their sketchy bonuses. The fact that they're promoting that as an addition to your cents per mile, but oftentimes not going to be able to follow through with that. That's just a really big turnoff for me. I would much rather a company just give you a straight cents per mile, forget about the bonuses, this is what you're going to make, and we're going to pay you a fair wage. And the other major negative for me is the fact that they only require 3 months of experience in order to become a trainer at that company. And not only are minimally experienced drivers training other minimally experienced drivers, they are promoting it as an opportunity to make more money, meaning that they're encouraging drivers based off of not paying them fairly to begin with to get into training sooner. This way you can make more money and earn a livable wage. And in my opinion, that's extraordinarily scummy. And not only that, but they don't even offer a CDL training program anymore. You have to go to a truck driving school. But to be honest, if their care for training to get a CDL is as much as their care for training new drivers, it's probably a good thing that they're not issuing CDLs. This company actually has an opportunity to be a really good company. They offer a lot for their drivers as far as insurance, retirement savings, equipment inside of the truck. Their home time is pretty decent, and they only have outward facing cameras. But for their benefit, it probably would have been better to focus more on a straight cents per mile on this pay package increase, as well as focusing on having good quality experienced drivers training under experienced drivers. But I want to hear from you guys. Based off of this information, would you go to work for Halvor Truck Lines? And if you are currently or recently started working with Halvor, I definitely want to hear from you. How is this new pay package turning out? Leave all that down in the comments below. And if you want to check out other deep dives just like this one, click the playlist right here. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, bye.